we walk around, me and my wife and like kids, we'll go out and we'll see someone with a dad gang in, and I'm like, dad gang?
Oh, I love it. I love it. We are here in New York City. With one of the most exciting players in baseball, Alex Verdugo.
Our kids won't always take our advice, but they'll follow our action.
Long story short, just, kids, it's the thing that I look forward to the most every day.
What's this word mean to you? Benedición.
Yeah, blessing, so benedición. Just everything in life is a blessing.
All right, Dad Gang, we are here in New York City with one of the most exciting players in baseball, Alex Verdugo. What's up, man?
What's going on? Nailed it.
Thank you for joining us. Truly, it means so much to have you out here doing a collaboration with us, and just what you bring to the game and the future of baseball and how you're able to embrace that. And you being a dad of three, it really, really means a lot to us to collab with you. And so thank you for that a lot, man. We appreciate it.
No, I appreciate you guys, man. Once I saw honestly, my girl put me on the hats. She was on the trend.
Oh, her. Thank you.
Sent me a hat, and I was like, babe, like, this fits way too good. Like, I need more. And that's when I knew. But you guys made me happy, so I like this.
Man, love it, man. I know Bart, when we first originally started, he, a big thing before the 100 hats were made, the very first 100, we were like, we have to make the most quality hat that we can. So when a dad puts it on, they feel it. And so to know that was part of what drew you to it is awesome.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, I have a huge head. Yeah. Like I'm on the last. I don't know about you, but I'm on the last 2 snaps on this thing.
No, are you size 8?
7 3/4 on like a good day.
That's all right. My dad's got an 8.
Oh, geez. Well, we make XLs now. So
Yeah.
when we first started the brand, it was like you'd hop on an Instagram and it was like a dad mowing the lawn, just funny dad jokes, mustaches, and like it's just like, dude, this is not that easy. It's not just not just jokes and funny stuff. And then the other thing was like all the other dad hats were kind of goofy or like flat or just your standard like dad hat fit. So I was like, okay, we can't be a funny brand because we want to embrace the struggle, the hard nights, the stuff that fatherhood brings, and then we got to make a hat that just actually like looks good and you'd wear on a regular basis.
I wear it every day.
Love it, man.
Yeah.
Love it.
I vouch. I wear it every day.
I mean, Dad Game, we want to work with great fathers and guys that kind of, embrace being a dad. You seem to wear our hats all the time. It's like I'm looking on Twitter and Instagram, and it's like, oh, there's our hat again. And it's awesome to see. But like, can you walk us through, being a dad, becoming a dad, and like what it's been like for you at age 28 and being a dad that is always traveling for sports and kind of your journey there?
Yeah, I mean, I guess like really for me, baseball was always like my kind of like my comfort, like what made me comfortable. Like I can go anywhere, and if I'm working out in the gym, like, hey, I'm training for baseball, right? If I'm at school and I'm talking to people, I'm a baseball player. So it's just always been something that was super, just a comfortable fallback thing. And I think the moment I had like my kids and became a father, it just kind of like opened up that avenue. I think like what you guys have kind of touched base on of like, hey, we might not know each other, but at the same time, we are all kind of connected in the same way of, bringing up children through this world, raising them, and kind of, just like you said, being dads. And, we would get labeled as the, the dad jokes, the mustaches, all the stuff that you said. And it's there's a lot more that goes into it, right? There's like a primal instinct inside of you that kind of like, hey, like it's time to man up. Like, it's no longer just me or my wife or, it's just not, this is a real living thing. Like we have to kind of raise this and, you kind of go on that protecting mode. So for me, I think just long story short, just, kids, just, it's the thing that I look forward to the most every day, right? And when I wake up, my kids are all there, happy. Hey, Dad. Hey, like, good morning. When I go to bed, it's the same thing. And it doesn't matter if I had a good day outside of the house, on the baseball field, a bad day, one of the worst days. I come home and I'm always still going to be their dad. And when the way they look at me in their eyes is they're very proud of me. And I think that's something that helped me kind of internally really ground myself and kind of, you know, just kind of feel like I was starting to walk the path that I've always kind of seen myself going, instead of being a little bit more wild in a sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, having kids definitely tames you a little bit. Yeah, the responsibility level just goes through the roof. And so, you know, I got this tattoo on me a long time ago called Choices. And I think about my kids every time I make a decision on things, on how I act and where I go or what I do, because we live almost for them now at this point. And, you know, you have 3. What's it like having a baby girl now? Because you have 2 boys and now a girl.
That'll soften you up.
And I have 2 girls, so I can relate. So I would love your perspective on being a girl dad now.
Yeah, so I think it worked out great, as in, you know, having the 2 boys first and then the girl, because I always said, you know, if anybody messes with my girl, I want 2 older brothers to mess them up. You know what I mean? And I don't mean mess them up as in, you know, beat them up like that, but it's like there's an intimidation factor. Like, you're gonna protect your little sister. So for me, it was just, you know, having my boys, it was just, you're kind of just you're a man, like that's your boy. You're roughing around with them, you're wrestling. You know, if they fall down or they hit themselves, it's, you know, oh, it's not, hey, are you okay? Yeah. No, it's all right, buddy, get up.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Oh my God.
So true.
it's all good, man. You know, rub it. Hey, I know it hurts.
Walk it off. Walk it off.
I've done it. Trust me, it hurts. I know. Rub that shin good. It's gonna feel better at some point. But I think once I had, you know, my baby girl, just, I think holding her and just kind of realizing, like, man, like, you know, and now it's, you know, she's about 4 months old, and I'll go to her and I'm, hey, it's daddy. And she looks at me, and, you know, she knows it's me. And like, she starts batting her eyes, like, you know, slows down her, like, blinks a little bit. The binky falls out. She's smiling.
Oh, man.
You know, so it just, like, I can already feel kind of softening up a little bit.
Yeah.
But I also do think that, like, it will really kick into being a girl dad when she's talking to me and, you know, daddy, can I have this? Can you know, all this? And that's when I think I'll be like, oh man, I can't say no.
Yeah.
You know?
My daughters are 9 and 5, and my wife always gives me a hard time because she'll tell them no, and then they'll come to me. I'm like, oh yeah, that's totally fine. And she's like, what? I'm like, she batted her eyes. Like, the batting of the eyes doesn't stop, by the way. My youngest Holland, she'll literally like, hey dad, can I have this? Like, literally hits me with like the cuteness. I'm like, dad, that's fine. That's fine. It does, but it like toughens you up though at the same time as softens you up. It's the most interesting way to almost interact, because you have to be strong but also vulnerable at the same time. Like, and that's you know, that's something I'm learning right now as only a girl dad, is like how to be tough but also be soft at the same time. So we'll have to keep in touch on how that goes.
He's definitely the emotional one.
I'm the sensitive one of
He's
the
got
crew.
2 girls, so the
Yeah. I grew up with. It does.
Yeah.
I had 2 sisters too, so it's not shocking that I have.
jeez. Yeah, are you gonna go for a third or what?
Breaking news in the camera.
You never know. There might be. You never know.
There you go.
Knowing my luck, I'll have a 3rd girl. Like, straight up.
Yeah. No, it's true. I have the same thing as you said. Like, our daughter Lucy, she was first, and same thing, so soft, so gentle. And then I have my son Max, who's just like, he was second. And for me, it was like, when I'm like changing the diapers, it's like, all right, get out of here, boom, 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 we're done. And then with him, like when he falls, I'm like, damn, that was pretty crazy. Like, but it's not like this like gentle run up. And yeah, you're just kind of, I don't know, it's just instinctive to be like, yeah, you're good, bro. Just get up. You're
It's
fine.
like we have that instinct to teach them to be tough, because they're gonna have to be tough in life. You know, like,
Yeah.
life has thrown us crazy curveballs, pardon the pun, but it has like our whole entire life. I feel like it's just been a constant roller coaster. And knowing that my son is going to eventually become a man, we don't know what tomorrow brings. And he always says, like he told you before, you know, we live, then we die, and tomorrow could be gone. And so when I'm raising my son, I know he needs to be able to sink his feet into the ground, get traction, and go, no matter where he is, if I'm there, if I'm not. And, you know, for me, I've always just felt like I just need to be able to give him as much strength and confidence to be able to walk his own path, where I don't have a daughter, you know, and I assume that changes because I'm trying to raise Jax to be able to have a family and take care of his wife and take, you know, and be that protector of the family, because there's just something instinctively about us that we're providers. We have to go, you know. For my dad, I grew up at our auto shop in South Seattle. We've had it since like 1935. So it was passed down from my great grandfather to my grandpa to my dad, and I always just watched him work. And that was my time spent with him, was at our work, you know. And like, I feel like now we as dads are getting in more of an opportunity to really spend time with our sons. And I wish I had that with my dad, but I didn't, because he was always working. And I know he would have wanted to spend a lot more time, but our store was open Monday to Sunday, you know, from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. He opened, he closed it, you know. And so that time difference is a lot. So as a dad, you know, for you with 3 kids and with your traveling, what's it like moving around and really knowing that, hey, this is work, but then right afterwards, how do you guys incorporate that while you travel?
I mean, really, yeah, it's kind of one of those things, as in, just for us, like, same thing that you kind of said, as in, you know, you want to be with your dad, you want to, like, you know, he's working at the shop for those long hours. And I think the easier route for us, you know, in a schedule wise, and like, you know, in that way, would probably be have my family go to Arizona, where we have a nice house, and, you know, the kids have their room, everything set up, you know, we have our parents there, that it's all lined up. But, you know, and it might be a tick little bit selfish on my end, but like, I don't like to miss time from them as much as they don't like to miss time from me.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, with that being said, having 3 kids while playing baseball is definitely a challenge, but only during the during the course of like a year, like the season. I mean, you know what I mean? Because when we're in the off season and we get to kind of have our normal day flow go, it's very, very nice. You know, you're not traveling, you're not worrying about like, all right, man, how do we get a flight? Do we get, you know, are you flying by yourself with, you know, 3, 4 tickets? And then when you have 3 kids, now you're going, well, okay, that's a lot of tickets.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, the
Like,
logistics.
yeah,
It's crazy.
So then, you know, for us, you know, I think really it just, you know, I love them with me at all times. And my kids, they have, all 3 of them really, even my girl, have really gravitated towards baseball. And I just kind of we make it like fun for them, you know. We keep it fresh. We let them talk to all the kids, you know. Like a lot of the players have kids too, so it's makes it really nice. They can go there while we're playing the game,
Mm-hmm.
and they're there and they can watch us on the TV, but they're also, you know, playing in the kids' room with all the other kids. And you know, for me, it's just really that's the, you know, it's just like, it's like a constant balance, right? You kind of fight it. And in my game, you know, we don't do this for a very long time. So it's like, you know, these are very core memories for them. And it's like, man, I want to be, you know, engraved in them. I want to be rooted with them and watch this whole process. That's kind of how we do it. You know, we're great. And, you know, our moms, her mom, her sister, my mom, you know, they always come out and kind of help as me, like that, you know, that nanny, or that, you know, just that extra wing that kind of just, all right, we need to go on a date, because, you know.
Oh,
Yeah.
I have used that one.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, there's a moment when you first have kids, like just everything gets put on the back burner.
Yeah.
That's like a good thing to talk about though too, because like we got to see it today at the game. It was so awesome. Your son's just like, you're up to bat, and he's up to bat also in the stands, and he's swinging and he's showing me his swing. And it's like, you know, if dad's away working, it's pretty cool that dad's away working and he's playing professional baseball, and they get to witness that and they understand why you work hard, because you're right there too and making them part of it. But the thing you touched on is like, aside from kids, is like finding your partner, your wife, whoever, like finding time for yourself, because you are so, especially in the beginning, you're so enamored with becoming new parents.
Yeah.
And this is probably like one of the biggest topics, like discuss these days is like making sure you make time for yourselves so that you don't forget who you were before you did have kids.
Yeah.
Yes. I think it's like the first, probably when you have the first year to 2 years, it's that like window where you kind of like, you just, for me at least, we went soul focused, like kids, and we just kind of like, it's not like you get burnt out, but it's you need those days.
You need to remember who you were.
Yeah, exactly.
Before
Like a nice
bit.
little refresher, and for me, it's the, let's just go to dinner and we can hop in the car. I can open up one door or two doors, the passenger door for you and my door for me,
Yeah.
and we can go. I'm not
All doors open.
I gotta bend this stroller here.
Hey, the Duna's nice though.
It is
Duna's
nice,
good.
but you ever, hey, when they get bigger and you got a full meal in your
Oh,
stomach,
yeah.
it hurts.
Yeah, but God bless my mom. She loves doing it. She's a Polish grandma, and she's just like, being a Polish grandma that's like the best job they could ever ask for. I think it's, I don't know, in my opinion, like all Polish grandmas I know just go so hard. Like, you need me? You need me? Okay, I'm on my way over. Like, I'll start asking a question, and she'll be like, oh, it's okay. Don't worry about it. I'm there. And you get to the point where you're like, oh, are you sure? She's like, no, you're young. Go have fun. And so, yeah, I think the number one parent hack for some is have grandma or grandpa help where you can.
I mean, it's cool. Like when we were watching today, I was sitting there just thinking about if you had the opportunity to see what it looks like up there, where your mom was holding your baby girl, your wife is there, your son doing the batting stance, and just like that family unit and how powerful you guys came together and how you guys stick together and really build. I think it's just, I wish you could see that from a third person's view.
Yeah, they need to put the Jumbotron on them.
Yeah, but it was
Nice.
awesome just to see how you guys rock out there and to watch your family just be there. And like you said, you're not going to be playing in the league until you're like up 50, 55, right? So it's a short stint. But at the same time, having them all there and be able to soak up that together it was really cool to see, man. And that's props to your hard work and your parents and how they raised you. And to get there is remarkable. And to have a wonderful family that you have that's always with you, it's really cool.
No, it's like you said, I know I can't see it from the third person.
Yeah.
But every time I run off the field, I find them. I wave,
I saw that
we
today,
get a
actually.
wave.
Gave him the
My
look.
son
Yeah, that
waves
was
I was like,
back
is he waving
too.
at us?
Yeah. It's my kind of way of like, it's like a little mental reset in a sense, just kind of lock back in, touch back, just.
I think those little moments
Yeah.
really lock in with the kids too.
I love it. Yeah. When I see him up there and he's waving, or he's got his little bat or something. Yeah. I can see him from left field. Yeah. I'll see him running running across the aisle, like boom, boom.
Oh yeah. You ever get distracted and a fly ball comes to you? You're like, oh shit.
yes, but not for me looking at them. It'd be like a fight breaks out or something.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh dang, what? And you do one of these, and they're like, oh, and the ball's hit.
I feel like the fights are up this
They
year.
are.
Yeah.
They are.
There's so many videos of them. But yeah, man, it's just so cool. And when it relates to your kids and baseball too, and this is probably like a good topic for you too. Like Grant grew up, his dad coaching him baseball since he could walk, I'm pretty sure. And now Grant coaches and has his own team, Built Boys, and he's coaching and he's training and so involved in and Jackson loves it, and it's so awesome to watch. And I got to watch him coach, and it was like, man, this is so cool. Like he's just passing his passion down to these other kids.
Yeah.
How do you feel like, there's like the old, I play baseball, so I want my kids to play baseball, or like that kind of, it's kind of a bigger topic these days too. Like how do you feel being a professional athlete, like having boys?
Yeah. So
Just break that down a little bit.
I think for me, I see multiple ways of it, but at the end of the day, I think the easiest thing to say is, whatever my son or kids they want to get into, let them play it. It's more I'm more focused. Like, I just want my kids to be athletic.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I want my kids to just move good. I just want them like, hey, if you don't play baseball, like that's, I'm gonna say it. It's okay.
Yeah, just say it.
But it's just like, yeah, I just want my kids to be able to move athletically and just have a good sense of their body and just that. And but for sure, like the baseball player in me, like I want my kids to kind of pick up the bat and like, you know, do it. But you know, as also the professional me of a baseball player, dude, this is a grind. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So it's, hey, if you can be smart and like, you know, really put your brain to work and do it somewhere else like that, that's great. But I think for sure I'm gonna just let my kids be athletic. I just want them to move, and if it's basketball, baseball, golf, lacrosse, I don't care. The only one I got really crossed off is football.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
same
fair.
with them.
That's fair.
I was never a football, like I like watching football here and there, and you know, kudos to those dudes for, you know, what they put out on the line, but for me, I don't think it's like worth that type of.
Same thing with us. Same
You know,
thing. Yeah. Rochelle and I are on the same page with that. And, you know, I don't know. It's just that, I don't know. What if? I don't even want to go into the subject because I know people have their thing, but it's, you know, it is what it is, you know? And I think it's a really cool, like segue into your dad surprised you last year on Father's Day when you had an interview, and he came out and kind of talked about what it was about you and what your relationship was with him and kind of what it meant. He surprised you on that interview, right?
Yeah, it was on what was it, like ESPN or something like that? Yeah, I was doing it on like the MLB TV with them, and they called him in, and there he was on his FaceTime too. So yeah, that was a good surprise. I was not expecting that either.
Yeah.
But
how did he play like a big role, or what advice do you see yourself pouring into your kids that your dad really instilled in you?
I think, you know, for me, my dad, like, it's just like I guess like when I think of my dad, like it's like a type of respect that I hold internally for my father, and I feel like that's kind of what I want my kids to have, like for me, right? When I talk to them, like I want them to feel like, man, like this is somebody like you know, to make it, it's like a little like baseball kid that just sees Aaron Judge for the first time, right? Like you're like, oh my God. Yeah. like I want my kids to like look at me like that and be like, yo, that's my dad. And that's kind of how I look at my dad. Like, you know, he grinded his whole life. Like, you know, was a kind of like a jack of all trades. You know, he could be as a mobile detailer. He could work on, you know, whatever various things. He can help build cars. You know, he's kind of all over. So for me, it was the handyman in him.
Yeah.
You know, the anywhere I went with my dad, I never felt uncomfortable. You know what I mean? And I give that, like, that for him to have a presence anywhere you go, whether it's on the city here, a little small restaurant, a fancier place, my dad can talk to anybody and he can hold a conversation pretty well with everybody. And I feel like, you know, to be able to get that type of feeling, to be comfortable in your own skin is a big thing for me that he kind of like, you know, instilled in my head. And it was also, you know, just being a man, like really, like you got a problem. Like when I grew up, like, you know, we have a problem with each other. Like, you know, we kind of had to handle it a little bit. Like when, you know, it wasn't like when my brothers, I had two other brothers, and, you know, it wasn't telling on my mom or telling my dad, like, hey, he's doing this to me. Like, no, you go talk to him. Like, you go handle that right now. Like, no, we're not doing that. Like, so I think just for my dad was just, you know, he's a big reason why I'm here. You know what I mean? And it's in the sense of the sacrifice that he put into me, and also, you know, the principles he's also instilled into my mind of like, you know, hey, in the hard times when you mess up and you do stuff and, you know, let's say you break the law, and it might not be a bad thing of like, you know, oh, I stole a piece of gum from, you know, a gas station. something as small as that, which is, it's like there should be consequences from that. If your father or your parents find out, there should be some type of, understandable fear in a sense, like, hey, I want to get punishment.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Big time.
That helped me not go down the wrong path in life and make those, like you said, your tattoo choices. And I think for me is like, if I didn't have parents that were as hard on me or kind of let me have it, like if I was acting bad, like, hey, they're gonna get over here. Like, dang, all right, man. Like, so if I didn't have that, like, I think it would have been really easy for me to kind of switch, like just go down the wrong path and not follow this already kind of engraved path that I could have taken. So for me, it's just, him letting me understand how to be a man and just make the right choices and be responsible and, just be comfortable.
That's cool. It reminds me of a quote that our kids won't always take our advice, but they'll follow our actions. And it's like how we show up. Like, that's kind of what that is. Like, you've watched your dad, just like I've watched my dad. Like, work graveyards all the time. Didn't see him when I was a kid. Probably I have a better relationship with him now in my late 30s than I did ever, because now I actually have time to talk to him. But I watched him the entire time, and I always had that like subtle fear of my dad too. I'm like, my dad's a pit bull. Like, he's short but strong. Like, I mean, kind of like you.
Yeah.
Hey, you're welcome. But and that's I had to throw it in there. Sorry. But I think that's important, like how we show up, and not always the words that we say, is just how we conduct ourselves in any situation. Because they're watching at all times. They never are not watching, and they soak it up. Like, so, like if there's moments where we maybe snap or like just have like a moment, like we feel bad, but sometimes it just happens. But they're like, they understand. They still feel love in those moments.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm guilty of snapping.
Yeah.
I am. But I think it's like, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it to where I'm like, oh, I'm the perfect parent. But at the end of the day, it's like, I think I'm perfect for my kids.
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I don't think I'm perfect to a generalized of like what everybody wants to qualify as being a dad. But it's like, for me, for my family, for what's best with them, and that upbringing, I think I'm gonna be perfect for them. I'm watching myself in the mirror, and I look at these guys. To me, like, so that's like, I know what path they're going, and I know exactly how to like, kind of like it, buddy. You guys think you guys run the show? Huh?
Yeah. No, that's a big, like you mentioned, I'm not the perfect father and snap or whatever, but like we all have no clue what we're doing when this all starts. And we're all like figuring it out while it's happening. And then as you get older, you realize, oh, my parents were also just figuring it out as it goes. And like we have, if you know, on the side of our hats, because it's like, if you see a dad with a dad gang hat anywhere, you just give them a little respect nod, because like, bro, I know what you went through. You know what I'm going through. And it's like, that's why we love you wearing it, anybody else wearing it, like, because it builds this community of fathers that can just like lean on each other and lean on help and get some advice that maybe they wouldn't get from, if they didn't ask for support. So it's just really cool to be able to like obviously work with you, but be able to like bond fathers with a hat,
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
We walk around, me and my wife and like kids, we'll go out and we'll see someone with a dad gang in, and I'm like, dad gang?
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Dad gang.
Yeah. The most nonviolent gang in America.
Yeah.
It's just so, like even if you don't talk or like wave or go out of the way, it's just like you said, a subtle nod or something, like people see the hat and then they just know.
Yeah.
Or I'll see one like maybe that guy is kind of cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, we caught a guy. Grant did. He has eagle vision. He can see anything from far. And we caught a guy out on a walk with his daughter with one of our hats today, and we just ran up on him. he was a little shook.
He was a little shook.
But I get so excited, man. It's just like when I see it, I want to go just give the person a hug. Like, man, I appreciate you so much, and just seeing them. And it's so exciting though, man. It's really cool, and we had, when we got here, the gentleman who was helping us with our luggage saw the hat I was wearing, And he goes, man, I got like 2 of those. And I go, really? Come here. Like, just dapped him up. I go, we appreciate you so much, you know? And it's awesome to see, because every father is going through their own struggles in life, you know, and they're fighting their own battles. And whether it's medically or whether it's, you know, trying to make sure there's money in the account for the bills to come out, you know, and or just making sure that their kid has good food, you know, and whatever that battle looks like, it's just very humbling to see that this is something that dads have chosen to be like, I'm getting through it. And this is very symbolic for somebody to put on. And, you know, and so being able to recognize that out there as we as fathers hustle through life, you know, and everything that it throws at us, it's very humbling. And, you know, we've had some crazy stories come through that just, we don't share much of them because we want to, you know, obviously respect their family's privacy, but they'll bring a tear to your eye about fathers who aren't here anymore and their baby went and grabbed the hat because that's what dad used to wear. And it's pretty crazy. So it means a lot, you know, in some of these hats. I think in this one,
all of our new hats.
All of our hats now, we added more than a hat right here. More than a hat. Yeah, exclusive. Because it is, you know.
Yeah.
It's a lot more than a hat, and it's definitely helped me get through a lot of tough times, you know.
Right.
And so yeah.
Well, man, once again, dad gang.
Dad gang.
Yeah.
And then with these colorways that we have coming out, we have that one, and you chose for international baseball to represent Team Mexico for your dad. That is awesome. Tell us about that and what that experience was like.
I mean, yeah, just one, Team Mexico was, you know, playing for Mexico and having that fan base. And, you know, when you play for a country, it hits a little different, right? It kind of feels like equivalent to the playoffs, you know, but it's like, I feel like it's hard to say it's above playoffs, right? Because MLB playoffs is like, it's it.
Yeah.
But it's like, it feels like it just hits the heart a little bit more, because it's like, man, it's like, you know, it's the country. Like you got this whole country just looking after it and rooting you on and cheering. You're facing USA, you're facing, you know, Venezuela, all these other great, you know, places that have amazing talent. So for me, it was just that was one of the coolest, you know, most like just surreal moments in my life where I was like, dude, this is sick. Like, you know,
That was one of the coolest series I've ever seen.
Like the Olympics of
Yeah,
baseball.
yeah.
Since it's not in there yet.
I was not expecting to get that attached to watching every game, but I just loved it. I was pulling Jackson over all the time. I'm like, come look at this. Like, get in here. You're not missing this right now. Like, sit right here. We're watching this, you know?
Yeah.
And that must have been so incredible.
yeah, no, so it's awesome. So, like, you know, to touch with that, it's been one of the cool things to always say, like, you know, I have Mexican heritage in me, and you know, we'll judge the book by its cover, right? You know what I mean? They see me, blue eyes, white guy, and this guy's not being seen.
So check it out.
So then I'm like, I'm holding on my dad's hip, like, you know, at baseball tournaments. I'm like, this pocket, right?
My grandma's from Nicaragua, so I'm Nicaraguan. So I get that same thing, you know. And you look at my grandma, and she's 100% Nicaraguan, and she's just, you know, from Matagalpa, Nicaragua.
That's crazy.
So I'm right there with you. I get that too.
I went to Nicaragua when I was 14 years old.
Dang.
That was one of the very few places I ever went out of the country, man. That was an eye-opening experience.
Yeah. It's you know, I go through life, and I'm proud of her and what she's done, you know, and being there for my grandpa, who passed away, you know, but she had 6 kids, and she ran the house while he ran the business, you know, and so being able to play for your heritage and, you know, for your dad, I mean, that's cool, man. That's very, very awesome.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. It's for my dad. I mean, like you said, it's just, there's a lot of emotion that goes behind that. You know, that's the next one. I'll be in it again, man. Like I'll try to play every single one that I can.
Yeah.
That's epic. Well, man, once again, I mean, we are so excited to be launching these hats specifically with you. It is the first time we've ever changed the under-brim of a hat.
Yeah.
What is it called?
It's just a dye sublimated print.
Dye sublimated
So
print.
we could do a full color print underneath the brim.
Yeah.
And then obviously the patch on the side. Let's touch on the patch a little bit. What's this word mean to you? Benedición. Did I say it right?
Yeah. So yeah, blessing. So benedición. So it's just blessing. Honestly, me and my boy from like high school just that was like our saying, you know. So I have it tatted on me. I got right here.
Yep.
So I just, for me, it was the blessings, like, you know, just everything in life is a blessing, right? My buddy was, you know, shout out to Marcos, that's my guy.
Let's go, Marcos.
Yeah, but he was somebody who's just, he always had a really good perspective and lens on life, you know, and I think that helped me go through a lot of things, right? And you said, you never know what dads are going through, you never know what you know, really anybody's going through. And I feel like, you know, that's why I was kind of, how I was raised is like, you know, treat people how you want to be treated, right? And I think, you know, it might be a small interaction as in just like a head nod to somebody or like a, hey man, but like, you know, we might not know each other. You know, when you're on your lawn, mowing your lawn or something, and your neighbor walks by and, you know, hey, what up there, Jim? You just like, you kind of look forward to that.
Yeah.
Like, I'll be like, you know, blowing like all this stuff out, and then, you know, somebody will drive by slow, and I'm like, who is this? What's going on here? And then they'll roll down the window, and they're all, hey! And then I'm like, all right, man, like, okay. So it's just one of those things, man. Just, you know, get out of the comfortability of your own shell, and just, you know, just have fun, and you know, just embrace this, and just put off that positivity, you know. Just a small little gesture and you know, being nice to somebody can go a long way and really help out
100%.
people, you know. And we've all said it, you never know how you wake up that day. There's days that I wake up and I promise you, I'm already I got that, I'm grouchy, man. I got, you know, I'm already like a little like, oh, I slept terrible. Got no T-spine mobility right now. I can't even my socks, like, dude, I'm irritated. But, you know, just those small little gestures, like, they go a long way, and that's why I think, you know, I thank my parents, my mom, my dad a lot for is, you know, treat people how you want to be treated, and you'll find yourself in a lot better situations than not.
Beautiful.
Well, it was really fun designing this, because I enjoy this process designed by dads. You know, it's like we take influence and inspiration from your story, try to bring it into the hat. So this is definitely one of my favorite patches we've done so far. Yeah.
And it's the first time, so a couple firsts, 3 actually, more than a hat on the inside, under brim printed, poncho print, because Augie told us.
Shout out Augie.
And then 2 hats at the same time.
Yeah.
We're
launching 2 colors.
2 hats come out at the same time, so we'll do this one and the more neutral navy and gray one together.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm fired up. I'm fired
that.
up for it. So,
I love it. Honestly, I got navy jeans and all that stuff, and I was like, man, I wish I had a navy hat. So,
Oh, there you go.
yeah, now I have that, man. I'm basically every outfit I have, I got a different dad gang hat, and it all
Love it.
matches.
Oh, we appreciate it
Yeah,
so much.
so much.
we do.
Well,
Awesome.
I mean, to wrap this up, once again, thank you so much. And the hat will be available. I don't know. We move fast around here, so we just shot. We'll edit things up, and it might be available right now as we're speaking to you. But yeah, super excited to release this. And Grant has a beautiful question at the end of all of these. So just ask that, and then we can wrap this thing up.
Awesome. So, with that being said, today is Saturday, and with you and your 3 kids here, I know they're here, but for them to look back on this interview and to watch it, if you could say something you want to leave with your kids into that camera, it can be whatever you want, but this is your opportunity for a message. What would you like to say to your kids?
Man, that's hard. That's putting me on the spot.
Yes, yes.
Grant's good at that. Grant is good at
See, I
that.
need to read more books. That way I can have like, I can get it out. But not really. I mean, I was talking to my kids I mean, the message I'd just say, you know, for Efren, Andres, Aliana, you know, I want you guys to know that, you know, your dad loved you very, very much. And, you know, I'm always here for you. I always have your back, always be there. And, you know, if you're ever going through a hard time, if you ever feel like this isn't the way you should be feeling, or the world's against you, like, you have an scapegoat. It's me. You know, would talk to me, talk to anybody. You're worth something, and just always hold yourself to a higher standard. All right, treat people with respect, and just really, you know, just be your guys' selves. Have fun, and you're gonna make some mistakes, but don't let that mistake like be the definition of you. You know, really work back from it, and just continue, you know, being a good person, a good human. This never stops. I'm still evolving, and I still want to, you know, be better every day. And I'm 28 years old, and I'm sure when I look back at this in 5 years, I'll still say I got more room to grow. So it never stops, and, you know, Daddy loves you.